Thank you, gentlemen. Executive Officer, hoist the colors and the commissioning pennant.
Aye, aye, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the mast as we hoist the colors and the commissioning pennant. Signalman First Class Thomas, hoist the colors and break the commissioning pennant.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain, the colors have been hoisted and the commissioning pennant is closed up.
Very well. I have the high honor to introduce a naval officer whose experience spans 10 command tours. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Vern Clark, the Chief of Naval Operations.
Your Grace, the Duke of Marlborough, Ambassador Meyer, Mr. Peary, Mrs. Cohen, and thank you for bringing your husband, Lady Mary Soames, and the rest of the Churchill family, my counterpart and good friend, Admiral Sir Nigel Essenhigh, Mayor Frame, Commander Franken, and the crew of the United States ship Winston S Churchill, fellow sailors, ladies and gentlemen, and two other individuals that I would like to mention who are sitting on the front row today. The former ambassador to the Court of St. James, Admiral Ambassador Bill Crow, and the former Secretary of the Navy, John Dalton, both of whom had a great deal to do with the naming of this ship. What a fine Navy day. It's a great day for the United States of America and for the United Kingdom. A great day for the navies of Jones and Decatur, the navies of Drake and Nelson. A great day for Bath Iron Works and for Norfolk, Virginia. And it's truly an honor, and those of you who know my geographical background know what a pleasure it is for me to be here today. This ship, in its life, will host many ceremonies, and one of the more customary will be the change of command, a time-honored and Navy regulations required event designed to ensure that the entire crew of this ship is certain, beyond any doubt, who is commanding. This is a celebration today, but my task is more directive, and it is to commence this process of command, established first in the line of commanding officers of the Winston S Churchill. A few moments from now, Commander Franken will formally assume command of this ship, this guided missile destroyer. Winston Churchill is part of the 21st century transformation in the United States Navy, taking to sea capabilities that have never before been fielded. And this ship is going to be a powerful addition to American sea power and the British-American Navy team. Now, I want to tell everybody here today that we pick our ship captains very carefully. And Commander Franken will have great responsibilities. And in order for him to execute those responsibilities, we will give him total authority for the Winston S. Churchill and her crew. The United States will rely on him to take this ship to sea. His first task is mission accomplishment, sometimes in harm's way. But we will also hold Commander Franken accountable for how he and all of his leaders on this ship will provide for the growth and the development of the national treasures that are assigned to this ship, the young men and women from 45 states who have promised to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and obey the orders of people all the way up to the President of this United States, and to serve their nation. And when he reads his orders in just a couple of minutes, he promises to effectively lead them to accomplish every mission that the National Command Authorities assigns to them. Commander Franken's task is great, but his entire naval service has been directed toward and now culminates in his present assignment in Command at Sea. For Command at Sea is the United States Navy's most highly valued prize. And Commander Franken, you will find that it is also a daunting challenge, and it is also our most sacred trust. As captain, Commander Franken will know the joy of command, and he will sometimes too feel the loneliness of it. This ship can be a world all to itself, and her crew has many leaders, but Commander Franken alone is to be the captain of this ship. I have great faith in the selection process which brings Mike Franken to this moment. I have faith in his abilities, and I wish him and the crew of the United States ship Winston S Churchill many, many successes. I have spoken to some of them, including the Master Chief of the Command and some of the wardroom, about their opportunity, in fact, their obligation to establish the heritage in this ship. And I would ask each of you in the crew to remember that the relationship between this ship and the United Kingdom should always be special. And although we live on opposite sides of the Atlantic, we Americans and the British have so much in common. Because first and foremost, we share a love of liberty under the rule of law. We have a fine sense of honor and fair play. And as all of our enemies know, or at least they should know, we are brave, and we can be tough, and we never quit. Commander Franken, those words should echo among your crew as they will echo across this site here today and across the sea where you sail in the future, when he said, never give in. Never, 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 in nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Commander Franken, my final direction to you: wear his name proudly. Lead this ship so that all who serve in her will stay true to the spirit of Sir Winston Churchill. Commander Franken, step forward and take command of your ship.
Thank you, CNO. I'll take all of that on board. Thank you, sir. I shall now read my orders. From Chief of Naval Personnel to Commander Michael T. Franken. Subject, Bureau of Personnel Orders number 2760 of 2 October 2000. Upon commissioning of USS Winston S Churchill, DDG 81, report for duty as commanding officer. Signed, Rear Admiral Hoeing, Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored that Admiral Robert Natter, Commander-in-Chief, United States Atlantic Fleet, will assist in setting the first watch on the Winston S Churchill. Sir.
Simple, yet it said so much. 62 years later, I am pleased and proud to repeat his statement Winston is back, and she's right behind us. And I know full well Sir Winston's spirit is indeed back with his namesake ship. This magnificent ship and its crew represent an enormous national commitment of tax dollars and human talent. It's not cheap, but neither is liberty, neither is freedom of the seas, and neither is free trade. So from this day forward, USS Winston S Churchill will take its place in our fleet, joining with other free nations such as Great Britain, who are putting their money where their mouth is, who talk freedom and who are willing to pay for it with their talented people and with their national treasure. To this crew, as you join your brothers and sisters in the fleet, I enjoin you to be ready for combat. Churchill so warned the British Parliament in 1934 when he said, "Wars come very suddenly." And later, on the eve of the fall of France, he inspired the British people with these words, "Arm yourselves, and be ye men of valor, and in readiness for the conflict. For it is better for us to perish in battle than to look upon the outrage of the nation and our altar." And I call on these same words and address them to this crew as you go down to the sea. You, the officers and crew of Winston S. Churchill, must be prepared for war under whatever circumstances it may come. Arm yourselves and be ye men and women of valor, for your nation will surely count on you to do your duty. Ladies and gentlemen, so many of our American Navy customs and seafaring skills have been passed to us from the Royal Navy. It is therefore appropriate for the Royal Navy to assist us this day in setting the first watch aboard Churchill. And so it is our great pleasure to have Sir Nigel Essenhigh, First Sea Lord and Chief of the Naval Staff, to pass the long glass to Churchill's first officer of the deck for the purpose of setting the watch. Admiral Essenhigh is no stranger to the life of a destroyerman, having commanded 2 destroyers, HMS Nottingham and HMS Exeter. Since joining the Royal Navy at the age of 19, he has compiled an extensive operational record, serving aboard ships ranging in size from patrol craft to an aircraft carrier, and in operations Desert Shield and in Desert Storm. Just prior to assuming his responsibilities, Admiral Essenhigh simultaneously wore 3 hats: as Commander-in-Chief Fleet, as Commander Allied Naval Forces North, and as my counterpart and friend in NATO, Commander-in-Chief East Atlantic. He and his wife Susie are also the proud parents of Lieutenant Angus Essenhigh, Royal Navy, who, as has been mentioned, is assigned as navigator in Winston S. Churchill. Susie, thank you for letting us borrow your son Angus. As the first in an appropriate line of Royal Navy officers who will be assigned as ship's company in USS Churchill. And unless we can convince him to become a permanent member of the United States Navy, I promise we will deliver him back to you someday. Admiral Essenhigh, will you and Lieutenant Angus Essenhigh please set the watch?
Officer of the deck, set the watch.
Aye, sir.
Admiral Natter, thank you very much for those very kind remarks. Commander Franken, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Secretary, lady sponsors, officers and crew of the Winston S. Churchill, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very great honor for me to be asked to present the long glass to the first watch on board this magnificent new ship. It's an honor for me because as representative of the United Kingdom and of the Royal Navy, the name Winston Churchill is unique. Of course, as the ambassador has already reminded us, he was the greatest of wartime leaders. And as we've been told, he was also twice First Lord of the Admiralty, on both occasions at the onset of periods of grave national crisis. And twice he led the Royal Navy's transition from peace to war. It was then with some justification that he sometimes signed himself off in later life as a former naval person. And the commissioning of this marvelous ship marks yet another significant chapter in the unique bond between the United States and the United Kingdom, and between the United States Navy and the Royal Navy. Two services whose close relationship is probably the closest of any between two armed services in the world. And indeed, I sometimes think closer than with the armed services, the other armed forces of our own countries. A relationship, in particular, symbolized by the exchange of officers between the Winston S Churchill and our own HMS Marlborough, herself a ship with an equally strong allegiance to the Churchill name. And of course, it's a double honor for me personally and for all of my family here today, my wife Susie and my two other children, as it's my own son Angus, who is currently the RN Exchange Officer, as you've been told, and who is now very proudly setting the first watch in this fine ship. We're all extremely proud to witness him take part in such an historic moment. It's a very great privilege for both the Royal Navy and for us as a family. We've also been pleased to welcome into our own home in England over recent months both Commander Mike Franken and also Lieutenant Garrick Miller, USN, Angus's opposite number, serving with very great distinction and to the great credit of the United States Navy and HMS Marlborough. Indeed, in the most poignant of coincidences, in the immediate aftermath of the tragic attack on the USS Cole in Yemen, it was HMS Marlborough that was, within a matter of hours, the first warship on hand to offer assistance. And I'm very pleased to report that Lieutenant Miller played a full and honorable and active role in bringing help to his own countrymen. So in many ways, this ship, with her crew, American and British, and with the relationships that have already grown up around her, is a symbol of the true friendship between her two countries. She has already won many friends and admirers on the other side of the Atlantic, who I know, ladies and gentlemen, will be watching her progress towards operational service with great pride, and who will also be preparing a very warm welcome for her later this year on her first voyage to the United Kingdom, where she will be the star turn at the International Festival of the Sea in Portsmouth at the end of August. And I have told Commander Franken this is his most important task that he has to achieve, notwithstanding his other trials, is to report for duty in Portsmouth at the end of August, where a great welcome will await you, Mike, the ship, and the officers and crew of the Winston Churchill. From my own experience of having commissioned 3 new ships into the Royal Navy, I know what a very important occasion and moment this is in the ship's life. The standards set by the first commission of any ship stay with that ship for the rest of her life, for better or for worse. Officers and men and women of this ship's company, you carry a great responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, as the first watch now takes its station on board, and as the ship's company prepare to man the ship, on behalf of the Royal Navy, I wish the USS Winston S Churchill well in the busy months ahead. I wish her a fair wind for her maiden voyage and a long, happy, honorable, and successful commission. Thank you.
On deck, Section 1. Sir, the watch is set.
Very well. Captain, the watch is set.
Very well, XO. Admiral Essenhigh, Admiral Natter, thank you so very much, gentlemen. Janet Langhart Cohen and Lady Mary Soames, will you please join me? These ladies will be placing the ship, will be asking the crew to man the ship, and we'll do this in a chorus. Ladies?
Officers and crew,
of Winston S Churchill,
man this ship and bring her to life.
Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Winston S Churchill salutes you. Ready, two. Captain, the ship is manned and ready.
Very well. Commodore Quinn. Man and ready for duty, sir. Executive Officer, break the Secretary's flag.
Aye, aye, sir. Signalman First Class Thomas, break the Secretary of the Navy's flag.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain, the flag has been broken.
Very well. Ship's company, parade, rest. Everyone, please be seated. Is this right? Hello, everyone. The view from up here is terrific. Mr. Ambassador, Your Grace, the Duke of Marlborough, Secretaries Cohen, Acting Secretary Peary, Admiral Clark, Admiral Essenhigh, General Kernan, sir, Admiral Natter, my past and present chain of commands, Mr. Mayor, our friends from overseas, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of this occasion. Straight away, I must thank the Mayor of Norfolk, the city, Karen Scherberger and company for making this all possible. The Hampton Roads chapter of the Navy League did the heavy lifting for this event today. Rear Admiral Cole and his staff, Metro Machine Corporation, for making much needed work here to make it possible for us to do this event at Town Point Park. The craftsmen at Bath Iron Works for building us a terrific ship. Rear Admiral Cobb and the professionals at NAVSEA for 4 years of stewardship. The HMS Sheffield helping out, my squadron mates for helping out, Admiral Crow, Secretary Dalton for helping, for naming his ships for Winston, and a host of others whose support made all this possible. One of the many pleasures in being command of this warship is the copious amount of speech material that's at my beck and call. I'm amongst professionals, so I'll revert to my own words. But today, to highlight what a very special day this is for the crew. From the executive officer, destroyer captain in waiting, to seaman recruit mock, fresh from boot camp, eager to make his mark, the most incredible aspect of bringing a ship to life is watching the crew come together from all walks of life. Sailors and citizens come from across the United States. 16 hold citizenship in foreign lands. Their average age is a rather elderly 28. A majority are married. 21 previously served in the Navy, got out, came back in. Some specifically, which is quite touching for me, wanting to serve on Churchill. We have 4 sets of brothers serving on board. 5 lieutenant department heads make it all come together. They provide the drive, the intellect, the professionalism, the expertise, they're the backbone of this organization. Next are 27 division officers, 13 of whom are ensigns. Fresh from college, some fresh from commissioning from the enlisted ranks. Collectively, they're the most dedicated cadre of young professionals that this nation has to offer. They make their parents proud, and me too. The strength of any organization lies with those individuals who put words to action. That goes for a warship as well, Chief Petty Officers in DDG 81, led by Command Master Chief Kevin Knievel, are the guiding hands of experience on the deck plates. They make everything work. In 20 years, I've never seen any better. They are absolutely superb as individuals and powerful as a group. The 66 first-class petty officers in Churchill are the ship's senses. As I greet any one of them in the course of the day in the passageway, I'm grateful, comforted knowing that these middle-level managers, technicians, tacticians, and leaders are on my side. I'm sure the country feels that way as well. I'll go so far as to make a prediction that before this ship leaves on its first deployment, fully half of those wearing the 3 chevrons will be members of Chief Petty Officers Mess or the wardroom. That's perhaps less of a prediction and more of a promise. The second and third class petty officers, firemen, and seamen, well, they're the body and soul of every ship. Their rewards for exceptional service are seemingly paltry, but they are not deterred, for they are our future, and they know that. I see in each of them the enthusiasm, the can-do attitude, and the promise of a terrific tomorrow. They are today's youth, but tomorrow's leaders, and I could not be more proud of them. Mrs. Janet Langhart-Cohen, Lady Mary Soames, you are our 2 other shipmates. 2 years ago, you gave the ship the breath of life. Your spirit is with us for all time. I want both of you to know that you are welcome on board always, and that you are part of our success in war, resolution, in peace, goodwill, for all the life of the ship. Next, I want to recognize the support structure behind the sailors. This is very important. May I have all family members who have a son or daughter, brother or sister, husband or wife, mother or father, cousin or relative, or a combination thereof, serving on board Winston Churchill to please stand. Thank you. I will be brief. Through the many months of separation inherent to this vocation, our thoughts are always with you, and we could not do this calling without your loving support. On behalf of my crew, I salute you. Ambassador Mayer, this ship and her crew are a visible reminder of the union of the English-speaking peoples. We will fortify that bond between nations as stewards of democracy, exemplars of freedom, and defenders of the rights of man. Your Grace, as the patriarch of the Churchill family, we look to you for wise counsel, and I am very pleased that you will walk the decks and see that she is befitting of her name. General Kernan, our namesake's first love may have been the Navy, but his training was purely Army. This ship will be a shining example of inter-service cooperation in support of mission accomplishment. Sir. Vice Admiral Mullen, Rear Admiral Malone, Commodore Quinn, if you look real closely at that ship, you'll see that she's certainly up forward, pulling at the lines, ready to go. This is a grand day, but it will slightly pale in comparison to that first deployment. We're standing by to answer all bells. Sir. I will finish today with a personal address to the crew and their families. Today we join the finest Navy in the world. Well, excellence is a Navy tradition. It's not a birthright. It must be earned day after day, year after year. So that we do this so that we can return to our homes safely and, if necessary, victoriously. For that, I will do my part.
Ship's company. Alten. Hut. Will the guests please rise for the benediction?
Now may the God of peace, who brought up our Lord Jesus from the dead, make you complete in every good work to do his will, working in you what is pleasing in his sight, through Jesus Christ, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated for the departure of the platform party. Ship's company. Parade. Rest.
Thank you, sir.